Morning, people. Welcome to another episode of Doing It 365 with your host, Sir Influential. Thank you for joining me today. My guest today is very unique, very different, energetic, enthusiastic, born in the Caribbean, from an island that we often don't hear much about, but means so much to us in the Caribbean as well. My guest today deals with food. He's into exotic dishes and platters, and his favorite happens to be the pineapple. My guest today is Chad from GoGoCarib. Welcome, Chad. How you doing?
Hi everyone. How you doing?
Welcome.
How you doing so far?
Fantastic. Good to see you. How you doing today, Chad?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Just enjoying the, being at home at the moment. Obviously can't go much, can't go anywhere. So
Exactly.
currently at the house at
Definitely.
the moment. So yeah, man.
Definitely. How you finding the whole quarantining, lockdown, staying in? How's that been for your mental health, for your personal life?
You know what? I must say it was a blessing in disguise, but also a challenge. Definitely something that's completely different. It was quite unexpected, especially for the business side of things as well. But in times like this, I just use it as an advantage. Time to reflect, and also my motto is to take a few steps backwards to move forward as well. So that's what I'm doing, especially in these times, in these perilous times, especially in these times at these moments. So yeah.
I hear you. I fully agree, and I feel like that is something that is very very it's very time consuming. It's very meticulous. It can be a bit daunting at times. You mentioned your business. We're gonna get into that for sure. What's the name of the business and how did you get started? Give us the history of GoGoCarib and who Chad is, where your upbringing is from. You have an accent. Where you from? What's your family background?
Yeah, well, so I'll start with myself. Like, my name is Chad, and I was born in the Cayman Islands. My mother is Jamaican. My father is a Caymanian. He's Caymanian and Spanish. So yeah, I was born in the Cayman Islands. What made me end up in the UK was
Yeah.
there was I don't know if anyone knows about it, but there was this hurricane called Hurricane Ivan. Which
Yes.
happened in 2006. So, that happened to me, whereas, my mother's house got destroyed. I was quite young at the time, and I had to find another place to stay, in a sense. The island was completely destroyed. So the closest place at the time was obviously the States. And I went to the States and I lived there for a period of time too. So, and and then I came to the UK because it's colonized by the Cayman Islands is colonized by the UK. So I was able to come over to the UK and obviously, find support in that aspect. So yeah.
Fantastic. What was your upbringing like in the Cayman Islands? Because I don't want to assume that obviously because of Jamaica's close relation to the Caymans that it's exactly the same. Every island most definitely has its uniqueness and their differences. So what was that upbringing like? What was the family like? How did you get into cooking? Were you cooking from a young age? Who was, the first few people around you that were encouraging you to harness this culinary skill?
Absolutely. So when I was born in the Cayman Islands, obviously being raised on the island, I was influenced by a lot of different Caribbean people too, because the Cayman Islands have different people in the Cayman Islands. Also a lot of Jamaicans as well, which I was saying that my mom is Jamaican. And I came from a Christian background, so I was raised by the grandmas that with the big Dutchy pot and I'm saying, like the old school ways of doing things. And even though I wasn't in the culinary industry at the time, once you're growing up, it's around you mentally. Things around you, naturally, you pick up to it without even knowing that you can actually pick up to it. So me being raised in the church in the Cayman Islands, being raised with my mom, a single mom at the time too. So, it was just me and my mother and my sister going to church. Literally, I was going to church like 5 days a week. That was like a full-time job for me. So literally, so I'm just being raised in the church. I just met. I was around a lot of church people that they had Sunday, Sunday dinners. You got the nice rice and peas, and the way they cook down their meat and stuff like that. Like I'm watching it like, geez, man, like the food's sweet, man. So that for me, I already had a taste, but I had love food from being young. I just love food. So yeah, that's what really got me into the culinary industry, was just watching people as a young child growing up, and also going to the States as well. You know, they had a fast food joint. America's known for quick food.
Yes,
So you know
definitely.
what I'm saying? So like everything's just like quite you know, quite quick in terms of the way they actually serve the food. And I was able to like, you know, learn southern fried food and you know what I'm saying, like the mac and cheese, you know, like this that you know, that those sort of style and stuff like that. And I was just able to infuse, just growing up as a person, and just infusing everything into my dish. And that's the reason why I call it GoGoCarib. It's me as a Caribbean on a journey, and was also able to experience things along my way being quite young, and just
I
use it
love that.
with my arts.
I love that. I respect that. The name is definitely a name that stands out. It definitely catches your eye. And it was so fun because when I first saw the name and the Instagram page, I thought, the logo is different, the look is different. This definitely must be a woman running this business for sure, because the imagery, the aesthetic part of me, if I'm not pronouncing it properly, was very, very unique and stood out amongst all the other pages that, you know, are business and brands that sell and distribute food. So I was like, okay, cool, I like this. This looks interesting. And then obviously I've watched, I've followed, and I've seen the growth of the page, and it's definitely great to see. And the attention to detail is definitely there. Let's now move on to, you're here in the UK. What was that like for you as somebody coming from the Caribbean? How old were you when you first came into the UK and settled down? How was that adjustment for you? And were you know, how did you now get into saying, okay, I want to start doing food here as well now? Where were you at the time? How old were you? What was going on for you?
Well, you know what? I was fairly young when I came here. Not that young. I was like more so in college, you know. So you know, it was more so like a culture shock for me, because like I'm American. I'm from the Cayman Islands, as you know. Even from Jamaica, Cayman, or anywhere in the in the Caribbean islands, it's more so Americanized than than having the Europe side of, sort of style, you know. So when I came here, it's more so like a culture shock, like to see so many different things. Everything's so fast paced. And so I was just able to just, you know, gradually, you know, grow as a person being in the UK. So in terms of the culinary art, it was just like I was saying, as a young person, just growing up and just soaking in this experience, and just able to create just one entity of a brand, and which could represent me. So being in the UK, obviously I learned, you know, different kind of cultures. They got the Asian culture, they got the African culture. Something that I was, you know, was quite interested in, obviously, because, you know, my background is to be a Black person, and it's more so
Yes,
good for me to understand more so the culture of
definitely.
Africa as well. So for me, it was quite good to learn different, you know, different backgrounds and different people as well. So yeah, being here was quite different. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed the journey, you know, being in the UK. So I've been here from, I would say I've been here for about 10 years now.
10 years. Okay, so you're fully soaking the British sauce
Oh,
then.
yeah. Well enough.
Fully. Well enough, well enough. Let's now get into the food.
Yes.
GoGoCarib.
Yes.
What makes GoGoCarib different from the other food brands, and especially the other Caribbean food brands?
Yeah. So for me, like what why I would say it's different, it's unique. And I know a lot of people like to use the word unique quite like easily, but for me, I try to use when I started this business, I started off you know, giving away fast food, like quick food. So I was able to create curry goat burgers with mac and cheese and plantain, and you know, all that in a burger. And and initially when I started the business, I wanted to do fruit to food. So I had wings with literally tasting like, I had kiwi wings, coconut wings, pineapple wings, strawberry wings. Like literally, you can name a fruit, and I was a way to literally infuse it onto wings, and I've done that. And that's how I started off the business. I even created, because I have a like I'm a like I'm a dreamer. So like I created like this cartoon version of myself with a guy flying from the island to the city, and then behind him is just like loads of fruit. It reminded me of Lucky Charms. You know, Lucky
Yes,
Charms, he's
yes,
like going
yes.
over, yeah, and then he has like all
Yeah.
those things behind him, and that's I created that. I created like and what I'm saying, the unique thing about the brand is it's telling a story. So it's that's the unique thing about it, you know, and it's quite organic. So like in terms of the wings as well, vegan wings, it's created by sugarcane bones. You know, I personally, even if someone is creating that, I don't only just create it, I create it with flavor, different flavors. So I think the unique thing about me is that even though I might be a Caribbean crusade at this moment of time, it's just the process of allowing people to know that I can create exotic around the brand of Caribbean cuisine.
That is a lot. That is a lot. Because right now I'm still thinking about the kiwi wing, the coconut wing, the strawberry wing. And
Absolutely.
West Africa, we just had pancake day. Those are all the kind of essentials that we would add on to pancakes to give it either a savory or a sweet, enticement. So it's very interesting to hear that someone is taking all those fruits that many of us enjoy on a regular daily basis. We buy it from Tesco, Sainsbury's in the little fruit baskets and say, yeah, I'm going to enjoy this. So I am definitely going to say to you from now, I need a day where you just prepare all of your best, like all of your wings, all of this, all of that. But we're speaking into the future from now.
We'll get to that. Yeah, no worries.
You mentioned fruits a lot. And that's something I noticed about the page. You have an immense dedication, passion, and I would almost say infatuation with pineapples. Why is that? Because almost every other post is pineapple either in chunks, in a bowl, as a platter, in triangle. Tell me about that pineapple and how you've grown to love that so much and incorporate it in your dishes.
Absolutely. Like you see, the thing is, I wanted to the reason for why I wanted to start the brand initially is to bring the Cayman Islands with me, and that's who I am. So it was quite of a challenge. The main reason why I say that because the culinary arts of the Cayman Islands, they're mainly known for cooking stuff like turtle, also cooking things like conch, and those things are quite challenging to get in the UK. So what I done is sporadically I literally looked at the map, and at the top of the map it has a pineapple, which that's my map. So on the Cayman Islands map, above the turtle, there's actually a pineapple, and the history behind it is it's not a big history, but it was literally the three pineapples that connected the islands, which is the sister islands, the Grand Cayman Islands, Little Cayman, and also Cayman Brac. So for me, I found it so interesting, and I was like, wow, you know what? I'm gonna do pineapples. So before I started the brand, before I started the brand of GoGoCarib, I was just at home, like literally, just cooking it up, like literally just like creating like, like unique dishes around pineapple bowl. And, along the journey, I was able to create quite, unique dishes with the pineapple. So that's the initial reason why I actually got into the pineapple. I want to represent the Cayman Islands, and it's on the map actually. So if you actually look at the map, you see a pineapple on it.
So people, make sure you go and check that out. Google Cayman Islands, Cayman, Cayman Islands national flag, and you'll see it right there on the coat of arms. And I like that. I respect that. And that gives us more depth, more history, more connection to the brand, so to speak. And we love the history and that journey. You mentioned turtles a minute ago, and you say that conch and turtles are a big dish or staple in the Cayman Islands. How do you cook conch? What is conch, and how do you cook and prepare turtles?
Yeah, so they got stuff like stew turtle. They got turtle soup as well. It's obviously seafood. So seafood are quite. I wouldn't say not all seafood are quite easy, but in the culinary arts with seafood, it can be cooked quite quickly. So in terms of like the turtle as well, it's like stew. So it's kind of like the way you cook a chicken, and it's the version of how you cook. You just cook the turtle in that same format. So yeah, in terms of conch as well, they got conch that like the cream as well, like creamy conch. I don't know. I would compare it more so to like Italian food in a sense. You could put that in your pasta.
So is conch like a calamari? Is it like a squid? Is it like a octopus? In terms of like texture and taste, if for those that are listening for the first time and hearing about conch and they've not seen it, they don't know what it looks like. They're probably not from an island or a country that eats conch. How does it taste? What does it look like? Take us on that, taste bud journey.
Yeah, so initially it will come out of a big. Usually a lot of people that are not from the islands, and they would have tropical things in their house. What they tend to do is have like this big shell. So usually the shell is empty, but in the ocean, it will have that meat inside of that shell, and that's what you call the conch. So you take the meat out of the shell, and then it's like this big lump of meat basically, and it has like this really nice chewy texture. The best thing I can probably say compared to honestly is a bit of hint of beef and chicken, but it's like a rich flavor.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that's why it's quite expensive as well.
It makes sense. It does make sense. Now, for someone like me that's into soca and music and carnival, when you're saying conch, I'm thinking of conch shell, and I'm going to think, okay, cool. Well, I know the Grenadians play the conch shell, the Dominicans play the conch shell. So, how does music influence your cooking? Are you a person that cooks a lot? I mean, plays music a lot while you're cooking? Are you into soca music? Did you go to Cayman Carnival when you were in the Cayman Islands? Do you go to Nottingham Carnival when you're here?
Okay, so I was raised in a church in the Cayman Islands, so I wasn't able to like go to all of the carnivals that I would like to go at that time. But I definitely did experience the carnival in the Cayman Islands, like Parks Week. So I definitely was able to grasp some of the history and the historical things in the Cayman Islands in terms of the carnival. In terms of being in the UK now, I definitely try to be in touch with the island. So every single year when they had carnival here, I was able to I was the only guy really, one of the only guys with my little flag, the Cayman Island flag. Everybody coming out with their own different flags, but I was able to connect with with all of the Caribbeans on that particular day to enjoy Caribbean music. But yeah, in terms of the kitchen, I find it very therapeutic, honestly. So it's like a rhythm when I'm playing music and I'm cooking, and it helps me to cook a specific type of way. I was able to notice that. If I'm just cooking quite quietly, it will be more so like personal, like for myself. But when I'm cooking for a big mass of people, I have to catch a vibe. It has to be a rhythm when I'm in the kitchen. So, and it helps me as well with pacing. And also, like I said, it's therapeutic. So it just helps my mind to stay focused.
Lovely, lovely. What's your favorite genre of music to cook to?
I found this new artist, it's like a jazz reggae. Yeah.
What's
It's a
this
guy called
artist's name?
More Timer.
More Timer.
Yeah.
Right, jazz reggae.
It's so different because but like I said, I was raised in a church, so music for me is like, how it is when people raised in the church. They either can sing, play piano, drums, one of the kind. Yeah.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I was raised in the church as a drummer, so for me, I really love that hint of a jazz. I play drums too. I'm like, obviously, I am. Obviously, I love food and music and food. They just combine. It's just love. It's just like pure, and you know what I mean. It's something that brings everyone together. So man, definitely Motown for music in terms of jazz music in the kitchen.
I love that. I love that. That history there is very broad, is very different. And obviously, again, like I said, we don't often get many people from the Cayman Islands here in the UK here. So to get someone that's from the Cayman Islands, bringing that unique flavor from the islands right to our taste buds, right to our kitchen table or our desk table or our sofa or our platter is very good to see. And I'm loving the history, the interest in that, the cultural difference as well, which is beautiful.
Appreciate it.
And to hear that there's jazz and reggae and everything you're incorporating that in between as well is fantastic. You mentioned cooking for yourself against cooking for large groups. What's the largest group of people you've cooked for? And how was that and where was that?
So I got a contract with a company called Cayman Connection. And that's when I was able to do packaging food and send it all over to the UK. That was for Christmas. Whereas I had to provide a 3-course meal, and it was for it was between the numbers between 80 and 140.
That's nice.
And I had to literally not only provide drinks, I didn't have to only make food. I had to make drinks from scratch also. So it's a bit they got the food and they got the drinks, so I was able to literally make the combine and obviously send it around the UK, and I got really good response from people as well regarding cooking for that mass of people.
And that's Cayman Connect, so they're based here in the UK.
Absolutely.
That's dope. That's dope. I like the sound of that. This is just don't feel away if you see me sounding or looking like wow, because like I said, you don't hear often about other Caribbean islands, especially from Cayman. So we're gonna really be shouting, pushing it, making the noise. And this is what this platform and podcast is about, doing it 365. It's about highlighting the prominent as well as up and coming entities from the Afro-Caribbean community. And this is what I'm into. This is the meat of it. This is the heart of it. 80 to 140 people cooking a variety of food, packaging it out there. How do you plan that? How does that work? Is that a 2-month preparation? Where do you how do you, because that's a lot of standing time. That's a lot of standing time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you're packaging that. And what kind of packaging are you using? Because if you're gonna send me my food and it's already ready, I just gotta literally warm it up. How are you preserving? How are you,
Yeah, so on my social media, I have it posted as well. It was a really good job. I'm very intricate with colors. So I obviously want to still represent the brand, which is obviously the yellow, the golden yellow, the white, and the black. So what I done is that I ordered a black box, and the stuffing inside was yellow.
Mm-hmm.
And because I want people to have the experience, I want people to feel like part of the brand. So anytime that I deliver food to someone, I want them to not only just see the food, because I know a lot of people just open up a plastic, like
yes.
open a simple plastic, but and they go straight away and eating. I want it to be more so, for me, I want it to be like a present. I want them to be like wow, and when they eat it, I would like them to also appreciate the flavors as well. So in that aspect, I had a black box. It was had like yellow stuffings, and obviously it's designed as well. So yeah,
that's dope. That is dope. I like that. I like like I said before at the beginning, the attention to detail is so important to brand identity, to brand distinction, to brand awareness, and to capturing the audience and maintaining that and creating that connection. So it's really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cooking for yourself. What does Chad love to eat? If you're cooking for yourself,
that's a good question.
And before you answer, I want you to imagine it's been a long week in the kitchen, in the office. Who's in the office? We're saying in the office, kitchen, wherever you are, and you now want to unwind. It's Friday evening. You've spent all week cooking. What do you cook for yourself now to just relax? What are you gonna eat?
That's a really good question. For me, it's just based on how I feel. If I feel so tired and I've got food left back, I'm gonna eat my own food. At least I know that it came from me, and I do enjoy eating my food as well. But as a human being, honestly, there have times that I literally would be working so hard, and I've had experiences whereas I was hoping that some of the food would be left back, but everything's sold out. And I'm looking, I'm like, where am I gonna eat now? The food finished, yeah, sometimes I'll just do a quick order in, like honestly, I would literally make a quick little order in and sit down and just enjoy just having food served to me. Also, everyone would like to be served,
Definitely. So, what are your favorite cuisines outside of your own cooking? So I know a lot of people, they like to have Thai, or they like to have Indian, or some people like to have African cuisine, or some people stick with the Chinese, or they go to kebab, or they have Lebanese. What's that food or cuisine outside of your own that you enjoy and you see, you know what, this is it, and you don't ever intend to incorporate it into your own. You just enjoy it for its enjoyment.
Exactly. And that's a very good thing that you say that as well, because it's very good to appreciate someone's art, even though even though that everyone is still in the same industry. It's still good to appreciate someone else's art as well. So in terms of food as well, I love me some Thai food, man.
Mm-hmm.
Thai, I love Thai. There's something about Thai food, it doesn't go wrong. It's like they cook it so quickly and it has a good quality of taste. And obviously I'm still particular, but in terms of Thai food, that's something that I definitely enjoy.
Right. I love that. I'm not a big Thai food person. Me, I'm a man. I like my Chinese or I like my African food.
Oh, I like African food too. I like the jollof.
Occasionally, you might see me with a kebab, but for me, kebab is like a once a year thing. Like, yeah. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, it's that time of the year. I hadn't kebab since last year. This time,
Yeah.
let's have a kebab. But for me, my go-tos are usually Chinese or African, and the good old chicken and chips takeaway. You can't go wrong with that for me.
Yeah.
And speaking of the African food, you said you love African food as well. For me, I do love a good Nigerian food. So I do love a good pounded yam with the egusi stew. Not get it in there, get the hands messy, bam, bam. Nice.
Yeah.
So what's that African food that you love? And would you incorporate some African food into your ensemble?
Absolutely. I've definitely done that. I done that when I first started the business. I actually I did which is quite interesting. What I done was cooking oxtail, and I put it in a pineapple bowl, and I cooked jollof rice. So it's like, you know, I infused fruit flavored food as well with also the jollof rice, because I was so I love rice. That's one thing I love. I just love a good rice. And trust me, the jollof rice for me, it hits. So that's the one thing. Yeah, so that's the one thing that I was like.
When you're cooking your rice, and people comment below as well, especially for the jollof rice lovers, please do comment below. Long grain or basmati?
Long grain.
Long grain. You sure? Because this is, I always see it on the timeline all the time. It's a major discussion. Yeah. Ghanaians use apparently long grain, or some use basmati, and Nigerians use basmati more than they use long grain. And people prefer their preferences, and the texture, the taste is this. Like, so once again, people, make sure you comment down below, which do you prefer, long grain or basmati when you're doing your jollof rice? Speaking of rice and peas, how do you cook your rice and peas?
Oh man, like it's so, I think I've watched quite a few chefs done it, but I learned that from my mom, how she does rice. So you get all the flavors in there. You chop up for me, I like a nice garlic taste. So for me, I chop everything quite fine. So I'll chop the garlic quite fine. I'll put it in there with the obviously with the the milk, the condensed. But it depends what kind of milk you use. If I really want a really solid, good like rice and peas, I'll blend the organic coconut.
Yes.
And you just put, because there's a difference. There's a huge difference.
Yes.
So you just put it in there, and then you're chopping up the garlic, and you get the thyme, and then then after you just get the flavors going first before you even add the rice. You put the rice in after, and then you make sure you get that Scotch bonnet at the top of it with some with a decent amount of butter as well. You can use oil so it doesn't stick to the pot, but I use a little bit of butter as well. And just watch it simple. Yeah, just watch it simple. For me, I like to slow cook my rice. Some people are impatient. So it cooks, but it doesn't have that nice melt in the mouth cook. So it's all about being patient when you're cooking, guys. Honestly,
people, I know. For me, I'm getting hungry. Just listening to that, I'm already thinking about lunch, and it's not even lunchtime yet. So I know for a fact, for the viewers, for the listeners listening, I comment right now if that made you hungry. If that made you hungry, comment below and say, yo, that rice and peas sounds like something I need to eat right now.
It's a solid rice and peas.
Solid rice and peas.
Yeah, man.
I want to touch on another dish of yours that I've seen that you recently posted, and I said to you, I need that dish. You did a plate, yeah? You had white rice, and you had a green garnish on it, probably cilantro or something on it. Yes. And then you had your curry goat wrapped in plantain. I've never seen anybody wrap curry goat in plantain. And it wasn't no whole heap of bony piece of curry goat. You could see it's the good quality curry goat. Now, I've got to ask you, what part of the goat do you use when you're doing your curry goat? Are you a goat leg person, or a goat shoulder person, or a goat leg person?
It depends. For me, I'm quite versatile in terms of client base, but for me, it's the meatiest part. So I don't really like the bone as such. So
so you're using the shoulder or the leg?
It's definitely the leg. It's definitely leg for me. And in terms of the taste and also the shoulders, I use both actually, to be fair, honestly. I just like it to be as meaty as possible, The shoulder is the one that has meat as well. but the leg also have some sort of, you know, a bit of meat in there as well. But yeah, in terms of the curry goat being wrapped in you know, the plantain, yeah, I don't know what really. I just thought about being creative.
Yeah,
Just thought about
that
being
is next level of because to cut plantain that long and that thick so it can bend. And how did you get them to hold together? Did you is what God? That's not. Is that the gorilla glue you're using, or is it because that it was so neatly wrapped together, and the curry goat, you can see there's gravy in it. It's just at the brim. There's meat just at the top, as well as all in the middle. The rice is nice. You have a little bit of salad as well. Like, listen, as you guys can tell, I'm a foodie. So when I started this podcast, I was definitely going to get the food in here, and this is what this is all about. Like, oh my god,
yeah,
food,
man.
food, glorious food.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the creative side of things, you know, I mean, I cook curry goat quite a bit actually. Like I've done it in a pineapple bowl also. But when I thought, for me, I've had this lately. I've been having this thing with plantain. Like I love me plantain. Like, oh my god, I love some plantain. Plantain, same thing.
Same thing.
But in terms of the plantain, you know, I cut, like you said, I cut it quite. You have to be quite intricate in terms of cutting it because you want it to be quite long. Like you said as well. So obviously, I can tell that you know quite well about, you know, food as well. So yeah, I cut it quite big, and then just, you know, cook it to a level that it's not it's not too soft. Yeah, the plantain has to be right because you want it to be able to bend. And yeah, just, you know, just give it a swerve. You know, just thought of it more like a cake. You know those cakes that have the
yes. So like you're setting it like
yeah.
So do you have something that sets it in place, and then you probably put the listen, you need to do a step-by-step on that. You need to make sure right now, people, you go on GoGoCarib's IG page. The link is in the description box as well. And look at that post with the plantain wrapped curry goat, and comment and like and tell us if you're going to try that. Comment below and let us know. And come back to this video and let us know that you've tried it as well. And make sure you're following GoGoCarib. Make sure you're following Flags365 on IG as well, because we will be posting up some of his recipes on the page also. Speaking of the creativity and the uniqueness that makes GoGoCarib different and special on the high street, tell us some of your signature dishes that are unique to GoGoCarib. You mentioned one earlier. I think you said the sugarcane.
Yes.
Sugarcane wings or ribs. Speak to us about that.
So I was able to I got the sugarcane, and I created the sugarcane as bones. So I can create also flat wings. That's something that I haven't done as much, but because I like to give people the option of you can get a flat wing. You know, in a flat wing it has two bones. So I was still able to put the two bones within the actual meat substance and create a flat wing. But yeah, in terms of the vegan wings, I use the sugarcane bones and I incorporate it into my dish. So it's a meat substance, a vegan meat substance, and also the sugarcane, and I just infused it to make a vegan wing. That's one of my unique dishes.
So let me ask you something as well, because that sounds amazing, by the way. That sounds very good. So that's another one on my GoGoCarib bucket list to try. Yeah. So we've got the vegan wings. Sorry, we've got the sugarcane wings, and now we have the strawberry wings, coconut wings, and the kiwi wings, and we're gonna try that plantain wrapped curry goat platter as well.
Yeah.
Cool. And we're gonna fling in the oxtail with the jollof rice in the pineapple bowl. So we have a what's that? A 3-course meal. So we have starter, main, probably two part main, and then 2-part main. We don't ever reach dessert yet. We're gonna come to dessert in a moment. But let's stick on this right here.
Absolutely.
I want to ask you. I feel like it's a trend, and people comment below if you think the same thing as well. People describing vegetable-based foods as meat-based foods to make it more appealing or to sell it. Why are you calling a meat replacement with vegetable a meat? So you're calling it sugarcane wings when it's just tofu wrapped in sugar. Why don't you just say tofu sugarcane, or why are you saying this wings when it's actually not a wing because it's not from the actual chicken? Or why don't you say bites instead. So like tofu bites or this bites or quinoa bites or
Yeah, that's a good analogy. I get what you're saying as well. I think it's because the way I create it, it looks like a wing. So I know some people say tofu. I'm not using tofu. Obviously, I'm using the ingredients that you would use to have the taste bud of a chicken. Because remember, I'm a meat eater. So, so if I'm going to eat a vegan wing, I'm trying my best for it to taste like chicken, honestly. So I've got my special ingredients that I actually add to it. And obviously it's not me, but it's all of the right herbs for it to have the essence and the taste of chicken. So yes, that's why I personally call it vegan chicken wings, because it's the closest thing to chicken for me as a meat eater. So I can tell a vegan person, yeah, you might not be able to taste the chicken, but hey, I got a vegan chicken wings for you guys, and it's made out of sugarcane bone. And that's my unique dish for GoGoCarib.
That is. Well, I know you're cooking today at some point because Saturdays is the chef's busiest day. So just when it's ready, just deliver it. I don't know if you're on Deliveroo or Uber Eats. I know you're based in South, so we go work something out.
Yeah, sure.
Work something out. Speaking of delivering Uber Eats, the pandemic, how has that been for you working mostly from home or just on the unit and just delivering out? You mentioned last year, Christmas time, you sent packages all over the UK to up to and around 140 people. How has that been for you now? Outside of that time, how have you been managing that? What kind of packaging do you have? What packaging are you using now? Do you have what does a GoGoCarib box look like now?
Okay, so right now, I have something coming up. So it's not something to speak about yet because I'm that type of person. Once it's there, then I'll show it. But in terms of a simple box for people at the moment, I do have a box that I'm sending out to people, which is just a nice, cute box. Fairly cute.
Lovely.
It has like obviously the logo brand in it. And what I'll be doing now is also sending my special ingredients to people, especially for people that are interested in the sugarcane vegan wings, because I've been getting quite a bit of response from that. People are quite interested in something that they haven't really heard about. So in terms of that, I'll be doing step by step. It's very easy and quick. I'll say you can get it done in 30 minutes. If you're not the best of cook, don't worry. I have something visual as well for you to actually watch and see.
Lovely.
Exactly. For you to actually see it step by step, and then you can make it along with me, and it can be a part of GoGoCarib. But yeah, that's the.
So we're creating the GoGoCarib family. Yes. So people, you heard it here first. We will be having the GoGoCarib online lessons virtually. Obviously, we're still doing the social distancing for now. And of course, in the due time, there might be some in-person lessons that you can come to a space, probably 5 or 6 people. We're going to learn to cook the GoGoCarib way, the Cayman way, the Cayman Island way. I love that. I love that. Wicked, wicked, wicked. Sugar. Speaking of sugarcane, we have to, since we're speaking so much about sugarcane, sugarcane automatically leads to rum. What are your views on rum? Do you use rum in your cooking? Do you use alcohol in your cooking? Are we going to expect, since you're doing so much sugarcane, are we going to get a GoGoCarib rum? Or am I just speaking things into existence? Because if you're talking rum, we can talk. We can set up business right now. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in conversation. That's another reason why I actually wanted to get sugarcane in my wing, because it's a huge market for drinks and food. And funny enough that you said that, because like I said, I have a few things in the work, but it's never said and done. I don't like to say things before things happen, but I like the fact that you brought that to my attention in terms of rum having sugarcane in it. So yeah, I have a few rum companies that I'm collaborating with and also talking with on social media. And yes, I will be sending out packages of 3-course meals, including rum.
Ding, 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 ding. We got the rum. So again, but for me, you can't be talking Caribbean cuisine and not have rum in the mix. You can't be a Caribbean.
Absolutely.
And it's so important for us to really harness and cultivate and push through all of the aspects of our culture that make us fantastic and unique and special, and that's loved by everybody outside of the culture as well. There's, especially in the UK here, there's so many rum companies and brands that are not Caribbean owned, not Black owned. And right now, as it stands, we have 7 to 8 black-owned rums. So definitely get into that. I want to get into that for sure as well.
Yes,
So
some good
let's
one.
make it happen. Let's sit down, and rum and food go hand in hand. It's just nice to have a nice glass of rum punch or a little rum on the rocks before and after a meal. You know, you're
Oh
just
man,
chilling and enjoying. And rum goes well in every cocktail, with every cocktail for sure.
spot on.
So that's without a doubt.
Hmm.
I love that. You have me excited now. You have me thinking
Yeah, yeah. You
to
know,
just no, let's just head straight to your kitchen. Let's get the food talking. We should people the next time we do this, you're gonna see we're gonna do it in a oh my god, this is it's phenomenal right now. So what's next for GoGoCarib? You've you've had a good 2020,
yes, I did.
getting your packaging all over the UK, building the branding, getting the social media presence out there now. So in doing so, what's next for GoGoCarib?
Absolutely. So, you know, as you said, the pandemic changed the direction, in terms of where the brand is headed. That does not mean that it will not, you know, come back originally to what it's supposed to do. But, you know, in times of, in privileged times, it's all about adjustment. So in this moment, what I'm doing, like I have, that I'll be releasing in a month, I'll be sending out food to people. And it'll be whereas it's unique dishes also. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I've done it last year as well as a starter, and I've seen obviously other people also incorporating it as well, because you know, being in the industry, it's all about, you know, keeping with the times. So
Yes.
so in terms of that, I'll be having a box sent out to people, step by step on how to do it, but I will be also making it quite personal. So that's another thing as well that I'll be doing. I'll be sending out boxes to people, you know, 3-course meals as well. Not going into details on what's going to be in it yet.
Don't
That's a
know.
surprise. It's
Don't
going to
give
be
it. You already give it enough exclusives with the kind of food you do
yeah, the food is there.
and what
So
you plan to do with now with the food and the alcohol. We don't want too much. You can't get them too much because then them got them. Yeah.
absolutely. So, yeah, I'm just gonna be sending out food to people, and obviously it's step by step. So initially, what I want to do is just give everyone the opportunity to also start off with tasting the vegan wings. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. It's not about rushing. It's just about giving everyone time to taste different things bit by bit, and then once it
Yes.
reaches that time, then you can literally just give everyone exactly what they want in
The
terms of
full
different
wanted.
variety of food as well. Because I do vegan, seafood, and also meat, guys.
All right, there we go. Speaking of the journey of the brand and the business, you say that the pandemic has taken you on an adjustment journey, so to speak.
Absolutely.
How has that affected your family life and your personal life, your relationships and so on? Would you say who are the people in your family that you know right now at this moment in time over the last say 2 3 years of the business being in existence have worked alongside you, have helped you to keep it going and afloat? How has your family been involved in the business?
Well, you know, I'm born Cape. When I mean, like a lot of people have their cousins and aunts and stuff like that, because like, you know, like they don't really they have their family here. Whereas me, when I mean I'm born from the Caribbean and came over here, that's exactly what it is. So in terms of family member, I don't really have that luxury. But what I
Mhm.
can say, I have my mom. She's my backbone, my mother. You know,
Yes.
every single time that I feel like you know, as a human being, guys, you know, you feel like giving up and you know, you just want to throw in the towel. She's just my backbone. She just tells me, Chad, you can do it. Like, you know, you're doing something, you know, you're doing something that's quite different, and just don't stop. And just like you said, in terms of the business side of things, in terms of changing the direction, I started the business collaborating with a bar. So
Hmm.
I legit had a restaurant. I threw myself right in the deep end. As soon as I started the culinary industry, I didn't do what people did. People usually start from their house and
Hmm.
and call up their friends and say, "Hey, do you want to buy chicken for me? You want to do that?" No, I didn't do that. I threw myself right in the bar and say, "Guys, pull up.
Simple.
I'm here." You know what I mean? And
Simple.
you know what I mean? And it was a good challenge. It was a very good challenge. I was ready for it. It was really good. The turnout was it was absolutely good. And then from then I kept doing events. So I was starting off doing events, and I really, you know, wanted to get in that feel. And as you know, pandemic took its course, and
Right.
venues are shut at the moment. So in terms of that, I was able to just find different ways to still obviously show GoGoCarib and giving people the experience of the brand.
I love that. I love that. And I'm glad you touched on that topic of people cooking from home because I therefore wanted to get into that next. So thank you for
Right.
that. What's your views on that? And obviously, right now in the pandemic, it seems like it's the only thing you can do. I'm assuming and I strongly believe you have your health certificates to show that your food and hygiene certificates are up to par. They're in date as well.
Yeah.
So, what's your views on people starting up their food business from home? Have you heard any shocking stories? How is that going to be for you? And would you continue to do the two?
Very good question. And a very great topic that you brought up. I saw in the news as well that obviously it's a thing, whereas they are clamping down on, they will call it black kitchens. So that's what they refer to in that aspect. Whereas people are cooking from home and they're dispatching food. To be honest, from my personal opinion, it's the best food I've ever tasted.
Exactly.
Honestly, and it's not a thing that I've done, because I have my company is completely registered and it's concrete in terms of having all of the right things. But like you said, things take its course, and I end up finding myself doing that as well. I mean, I live alone, so in that aspect, I'm not really in a position whereas they have people in the house and they have to struggle or whatever or so forth.
Right.
I was still able to show people the aesthetic of my kitchen, and they were quite comfortable with what I can provide. So in terms of health and hygiene, it's something that it's something that it's quite vital, and obviously that's something for me itself. I already had that trained within myself when I started officially. So cooking from home is a very interesting topic. I would say to people that are cooking from home, try to just do events and save some money, and then find yourself a spot, which I'm currently doing at the moment, actually, guys. I'm working alongside with Peckham Levels, also Mission Kitchen, and it's a huge challenge, guys. Honestly, we know that. We can just be real about the situation. People
Lovely.
people want to have that experience of having their shop, but they need to understand you can't have a shop without a customer base. So I would highly recommend. That's what I've done. If you look at my social media right now, I put out I'm not delivering. Obviously for events, I make sure that I wipe down my whole entire kitchen, everything's out the way, and then I make sure that I cater to my customers. So I would highly recommend for people to create very, very good content on social media. Just create a nice feel of people engaging with your social media, correspond with them, find out what they want, and try to. I mean, it's quite hard in terms of, honestly, I can be real. It's challenging for some people to obtain money, but once you can obtain that money, find ways to do that, because there's always wherever there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a way.
That is that's the motto I live by. I feel like I should put it under my logo.
Man,
he finds a will, he finds a way.
Trust me, man. I live that life.
And I feel like once you have that determination, that passion, that love for providing that product, that service for people, you will always find the money. You'll always find, and I think this is one of the blessings of being in the UK. The UK funds so many things that it's all like you might not get the maximum that you really need, but you can get half of it. And you see, when you get half of it and you start work, the rest the blessings just flow. God just bless you, as them say. So when you start to just build and grow and graft, it's like the blessings just bestow upon you, and it's hard to stop that momentum once you're going.
Yeah.
You mentioned 2 locations of where you do your food, Peckham Levels and where else?
Peckham Levels and Mission Kitchens are the 2 places that I'll be taking. I'm right now, I'm in conversations to actually take myself over to one of them and have my shop officially. That's when I'm able to now serve consistent food at a basis. Because
lovely.
Honestly, because you don't want to be, because I'm glad that you brought that topic up, because you don't want to be in a position, which I've seen a lot of people doing, especially people that are doing seaballs. I've seen that so many times on social media, that are people like, having loads of cooking from home, and they're sending food to people, which is, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. I don't see, me personally as a person, and going on social media and seeing some lovely food, it's quite fine, because even you're judging, like some people tend to judge a person in their kitchen, but they can have a professional kitchen and it's still messy.
Exactly.
It's
And
still,
we've
it's
seen
disgusting.
professional kitchens. A lot of people go out
Yeah,
to restaurants. The
yeah,
kitchen is messy, they get bad food, they get bad service. So I don't
absolutely.
really knocking the person that's doing it from home.
Never knock.
Because
Yeah, I never knock a person that's trying to try to do something from their house. All I can say to people at their house, just be strategical about the situation. Like they say, if you don't be too greedy. Yeah, just pace yourself, and mainly engage with people on social media, and just take the time to be at home and cook some quality food so people can actually engage more with you. Once you have a base, find a source of income. Like you said, the UK does provide money, or go get a job. Find a way. Just find a way. Once you have that income, then once you're able to find a place, then the customer will come because you've already created a customer base.
And also, people get the certifications. They're not hard to get.
Yeah,
Get them as well, because once you have them and you can display them, nobody can argue with you. Yes, I'm qualified, I'm certified. Here I am. You can come and inspect my kitchen. Because most of us, when we go out to eat, be honest, very few restaurants or takeaways have an open plan kitchen. You can't see what's going on. So how can you be certain this is fine? You can't even see their certificates.
Exactly.
So why would you trust a stranger in a building and you can't trust somebody in their house?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you go to your friend's house and eat, or some people don't. They're very fussy and picky and stuff. But so I do. For me, I like to see. I have noticed it's a massive influx and everyone's doing it, and I don't blame them, because at the same time you have so many McDonald's, you have so much KFC, you have so much Greg's, you have so much Subway, you have so much Pizza Hut, all these things. You have so many Chinese takeaways. So if we can have so many of those, why can't we have so many of people doing and selling food from their home and surviving in these times? You understand?
Absolutely.
Most definitely. So I definitely feel.
One thing I can definitely say, it's it's whereas not to make a knock on myself, but it's a thing whereas the entity, if they know that people are making money without them not having a cut, it'll be a problem. So
that is what it is. That is what it is. They want to be able to tax people, and sometimes make people live and survive. What you want, not every day. You see me? That's what it is. That's what they're clamping down, because a lot of people are surviving and thriving.
Exactly.
You see me? And it's like you've seen other brands, you've seen big established brands now come through from that, and then they've gone on to Dragon's Den, they've won money, and they've now opened up businesses where they can be taxed. Fine. Exactly. But in the first couple of years, they were doing it from home and striving and succeeding and saving the money that could allow them to say, okay, cool, we now need a bigger backing, let's get a bit in. Because at the end of the day, I do also believe that your workplace and your home should be separate.
Yes.
You should be able to leave your workplace and leave work at work, unwind and come home to you and deal with family life and yourself and your sanctuary, your peace. And obviously, if we have a pandemic now, you have to create the two in one, have one room where that is your sanctuary, your peace, and nothing about work gets spoken about, dealt with, or addressed in that space.
Yes.
And then, especially if you're doing food, deep clean your kitchen, clean out the kitchen, and then if you normally cook to hip hop and R&B, put on some jazz, or put on some reggae, or put on some souls and classics, and then light some incense, and then leave your kitchen.
Absolutely.
And then get somebody else to go in the kitchen for you and bring you drink or water or something, because you need to
do something. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like usually sometimes I would want to have food ordered to me because you want to do something just a little different. But yeah, definitely get what you're saying. But just to go back to the topic of people cooking from home, it's a very interesting topic to me because look, you just said it. These brands, they got there because they started here, and like you said, it's very important. Just get your qualification, guys. If you need to get into the culinary industry, it doesn't take that long. Literally just a week. It's just like really easy questions. All you need is a level 2 health and hygiene. Anyone can get that qualification. If you have the interest in cooking, then yeah, just make those steps to get there.
Isn't it? And definitely people as well, like Chad said, it's all about social media. It's all about content creating. So make sure you have your IG, your videos, your angles, your lighting right to
Oh,
ensure
yeah.
that the food looks appealing, you're good, you're engaging, and you're building that community, that family. Because right now I haven't had the pleasure of trying GoGoCarib's food as yet, but I'm feeling very inclined to say, Chad, prepare me something.
When you're
I
ready.
want a sampler. I'm coming there today. So, and then,
Absolutely.
you guys know me. If you don't know me already, check out my IG, Sir Influential. I'm a foodie. I might even start a food review. I feel like I might do that because I love a good food and I love good Afro-Caribbean food as well.
Mhm.
So it's amazing to see. What about desserts? You haven't mentioned any desserts. You say you love doing seafood, you love doing meat, you love doing vegan food. What about desserts? Because we in the Caribbean, especially in Jamaica, we feel for something sweet. We feel for something sweet still.
Yeah.
Are you into desserts? Is there any Gogo Carib unique dessert dishes that are already on the menu or gonna be coming?
No. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you just said it. You just said that you like that sweet taste, whereas I've already brought that in my food. So I've got sweet, savory taste in food. I've got lemon chili food, all of those things. And I understand, like, as a culinary industry, you have to pick your poison. You have to pick your lane. And I know my lane. I can make desserts. Honestly, I can. I've been at home and make cakes and stuff like that. At the end of the day, if you have to provide a full service, I want to create an entity of gathering a brand of loads of black entrepreneurs that are very, very particular and are very intricate within their own art. Because the only way you can get to a high level is if you have everyone within their lane and they're very good at it.
Yes.
And it just comes as one. So you got one guy that can just bring the juice that you're like, man, that juice is too good. And you got a food that you're like, nah, this food is too sweet. And then you got a cake, and then it just comes in one entity, and it's served to a customer. And that's the plan for myself.
I
So
love that.
I'm definitely looking around for people that have the passion that I have for food and drinks. I have food. I have it more so for food and drinks. I'm still looking for
Right.
someone. I'm looking for people with drinks also, but
Lovely.
literally just together, black entrepreneurs, so we could come together as one and create a really good entity.
Fantastic. Chad, it's been my absolute pleasure in speaking to you today, hearing all about Gogo Carib, the journey from the Caribbean to the UK, Gogo Carib way. People, make sure you go into the description box below and make sure you're following Chad on Gogo Carib's Instagram page. And make sure you're also following Flags365's Instagram page. Make sure you subscribe, leave a comment. What wings, what
No, you're still live. You're still live.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. Apologies. Have a wonderful day. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. Make sure you're following GoGoCarib on Instagram for more of their recipes and their food. And make sure you go and support. This has been Doing It 365. Have a wonderful day. Take care.